Hey, Miss Potts.
If you find this recording, don't feel bad about this. Part of the journey is the end.
Iron Man, when did you become so dark and angsty? I miss the fun-loving Tony Stark. Ah, so sad that you're dying.
You trust me? I do.
What? No, he's not. Okay, so he's not dead because he's just hanging out with everybody else. Well, fine. Freaking trailers, you pieces of shit. Well, way before, trailers to Endgame ruined what's actually happening to Iron Man came out, or, before 5 or 6 Marvel movies that we had to watch to figure out what the hell was going on in the Marvel universe ever happened. There was one movie, Iron Man. It was a simpler time then. Movies were made with the mindset of telling an entire story from beginning to end in one sitting, as opposed to now, where literally every movie is just a 2-hour glorified trailer telling us that we have to watch the next one. And, of course, that leads to another glorified 2-hour trailer. That means we have to watch a third one. And what happens in the third one? Nothing that can be explained unless you watch the 4th one, and then the 5th one, and then... Yeah, while editing this part, I realized this went on way too long, so I'm gonna bring us right back to the point I was trying to make. That would, kind of tangle in with the last one, and then it'd be, the thing that leads into the end game. But, I thought it'd actually be really fun if we take a step back. All the way back to the beginning of this freaking ridiculous crazy web that they've built. The year was 2008, and at this point, DC was the one and only. And don't f***ing lie and say in the comments, I was reading Captain America, Iron Man, and Hulk comics before the movies. Because, no you weren't. And yeah, Marvel went bankrupt in '96. Why do you think they had to sell the rights to Spider-Man, X-Men, and the Fantastic Four? Because their comics were not the best. Now, don't get me wrong. The 90s was just a weird-ass time for comics anyway, and there were gems hidden here and there. For example, Daredevil's Born Again. Freaking amazing. And then after you read that, go find number 297 through 300. That one's even a double-sized issue. But this is totally not part of what I'm talking about. And, I mean, at the time, none of us knew anything about any character from Marvel that wasn't named Spider-Man or the X-Men. So when Iron Man dropped in '08, most people were like, is he from DC? Yeah, he was the Superman for a little bit, right? First off, no, that was Steel. But no one knew what to expect from this random ass metal man. Well, I'd say it's about time that we check this bad boy out. Oh, you noticed my sexy case, I see? That's right, the Ultimate 2-Disc Edition. Let's get it started. Iron Man starts with the well-known millionaire playboy, Tony Stark, riding in a convoy through Afghanistan, when they all of a sudden get attacked. Tony catches some shrapnel from a Stark Industries weapon straight to the chest. Then, before you know it, we're 36 hours earlier, but all sorts of weird exposition is going on during this award ceremony? Movie-wise, that makes perfect sense, because us as the audience don't know who the hell Tony Stark is at this time. But everybody in the Iron Man world should know who Tony Stark is. So it's kind of weird, because that's like introducing Bill Gates at a Microsoft Expo. You just don't have to. Not that it matters anyway, because Tony's not there. And this is when we're introduced to Obadiah Stane, who apparently has been working with Tony's father ever since World War II, and has been a big part of the company ever since. But he accepts the reward for Tony because Tony's off gambling. Oh geez, now he's banging. Oh, now he's in his garage working on an engine and listening to... What the hell is this? Well, he has to be a freaking genius to be able to work while listening to this crap. Oh, buddy, what did you eat? Oh, I I can't handle all this poop and the song. What? I'm done. Run from the song, buddy, run! And before you know it, this is when Tony's back in Afghanistan, catches that shrapnel to the chest after showing off his Jericho missiles, leading to him getting this thingamajig in his chest. Ho Jensen, the other guy stuck in the cave with Tony, put it in his chest to stop small pieces of shrapnel from making it into Tony's heart. Tony later makes a small arc reactor that has enough power to run all sorts of stuff, but in this case it's for Tony's chest. And a little side note, but am I overthinking this, or wouldn't a piece of shrapnel that's trying to go into his heart and then get pushed back by a magnet just tear the ever-living hell out of his veins? I mean, right? That's gotta mess you up. Anyway, back to the story. These terrorists kidnap Tony to make him a Jericho missile. Then Tony agrees and gets to work. Of course, he's not making the missile though. He's making the Mark I Iron Man suit and kicks some ass. Jensen dies, Tony escapes, and he makes it back home, where he, of course, is having struggles with his job of being a weapons manufacturer. So, he tries to shut down production of all these weapons. But holy crap does that piss off Obadiah Stane here. Woo! Tony makes a better suit, and after watching the news, presumably because the news just pisses people off, and because terrorists suck, Tony suits up and flies to Afghanistan to kill some mofos. And holy crap, is this part cool. For sure, all of you have seen Iron Man. I know it. I know you have. Because it's amazing. And if you're a person that hasn't seen Iron Man, I mean, come on. Really? Rent it off Amazon or something. Because this movie is one of, if not the best Marvel movie, like, ever made. So good. Overall, I love Iron Man. All of the characters are cast very well. Nobody in this movie feels like they didn't belong or just didn't fit the character that they were portraying. I mean, Jeff Bridges as a bad guy? Freaking amazing! And Robert Downey Jr. is the best casting for any Marvel movie known to man. It will be a bummer when he's finally done with this role. Plus, the movie plays out well, and there's a perfect amount of action to character build. There's enough time spent with each character that they don't do anything random or seemingly stupid. There is, however, one problem. Why the hell did Obadiah Stane try to have Tony killed before he wanted to stop production of weapons? I mean, think about it. Obadiah was only pissed with Tony after he came back from Afghanistan. So, why did he try to kill Tony? They never say, and if they did, it wasn't anything important enough that I noticed it during any of the 3 times that I watched this movie for this review. But, in all honesty, I never noticed this problem until I watched the movie back to back to back. And it really doesn't matter because this movie is so freaking fun and entertaining that I don't even mind the plot holes. Yeah, wow. As far as the grade goes, I'm giving Iron Man a 10 out of 10. I mean, for real, people, this movie is legit. It is so damn good that I don't care if you like cowboy movies, indie movies, documentaries, rom-coms. If you don't even like movies, I don't give a crap. You should watch Iron Man at least one time before you die, because it is so good. It's so good. But we're done with the movie now, so it's time to play the game, of which there are a lot of versions. There's a DS version, a PSP, PS2, PS3, Xbox 360, PC. Seriously, they wanted to make sure you played this game back in the day. But the version I'm going to be playing for the review is the PS2 version, because I figure it's probably the best in-between version of like the 360 and PS3 stuff to the DS and PSP. It's right there in the middle, so we get a good feel as to whether it really sucks or it's just all around awesome. All of the versions were made by Sega. It came out at the same time as the movie, so people could buy it right after seeing the movie. And, to be honest, I have no clue if I'm full on excited or scared. I mean, you get to be a badass in a impenetrable suit of armor that just wrecks everything and can be shot in the face by a tank and just get up and blow it up with a tiny missile. But, on the other hand, video games did this to Superman. And I love Superman. That game was so horrifyingly bad. It just almost brings tears to my eyes. But we're not talking about Superman, are we? Nope. Talking about Iron Man. And let's hope it is nowhere near that bad. Here's a nice surprise. Robert Downey Jr., Terrence Howard, and Sean Tobe are all back to voice their characters. But to be honest, I didn't think it was them. They all sound like they were barely trying. I mean, listen to some of this dialogue and tell me it sounds like them normally.
Is it the fruit of his labors?
You want to ruin the company? Is that a rhetorical question? All I know is that we're not selling weapons anymore.
But whatever. Let's keep a positive attitude for the time being. Oh, hell yeah! They play Black Sabbath's Iron Man's once you start to kick the shit out of all these bad guys. Why didn't they do this in the movie? The controls for moving Iron Man around while he's on the ground are easy enough to get a hold of. And of course, you're a freaking tank. You can just stand there and get shot without having to worry about, anything. This could just be that I'm in the tutorial level, but we'll just have to play all the way through to see. Eventually, you make it out of the caves of Afghanistan, and before you know it, Tony's getting yelled at by Obadiah. And, wow, these cutscenes are goofy looking. I know it was only 2008, but damn, where's his beard? Why are his lips like that? Why is she so shiny? And where the hell did those come from? They were definitely not like that in the movie. And I love how they picked the one shirt that she wears in the movie that could show off cleavage. Ah, that's why they added those. Yeah, I see you, Sega. I'm watching you. Anyway, boobies aside, there are bad guys attacking Stark Industries. And hot damn, that was fast. But, of course, they needed to add more bad guys for you to fight, because there really isn't that many people Iron Man fights in the movie. So, I'm fine with them changing the story a little bit. Something I noticed while playing this is that there are these gauges next to your weapons you're using. They never tell you what it's for, but they're for tracking how much you used them. And once you fill the meter in a level, you can upgrade it between missions. For example, if you're using a machine gun a ton, you will get one that has more ammo, then EMP rounds, and so on. An interesting thing that they did, though, was make it so you can choose where you're putting all of your suit's energy, making you able to use your chest repulsor, fly super fast, or beef up your armor so you can take more hits. And don't go forgetting this feature either, because it's important, and if you just leave it on its default setting, Iron Man gets his ass kicked from time to time. After learning these fun things, we are treated to another cutscene. And what? Oh man, Sega, no one has ever used this shot without a purpose. I don't just mean for looking down shirts either. What did I just tell you, Sega? Well, Iron Man is back in the desert to beat up those punks that were trying to steal his weapons. And it's the first time that you can do this! Which is cool once. Because the second time you do it, you realize, oh, that is never going to be different, is it? Nope. So just do it once to each vehicle if you want to see what it does, but then it's just a time waster after that. This level also showed me that Iron Man's most deadly weapon is his fist. You have to shoot these trucks at least 5 times before they blow up, but you can take down a tank in just 3 punches. Oh, and if you're wondering why we're back in the desert, it's to blow up Stark weapons. And you'd better get used to that idea too, because it is the one and the only reason Iron Man has any drive throughout this entire game. So, made it past this mission, and we're headed to the next mission. But go ahead, guess what we're doing in this mission? Yep, find weapons and blow them up. But this time we're in a sandstorm. Woo! Every once in a while, though, there are bosses, ranging from this crazy huge tank to all sorts of feared and always avoided Titanium Man? Yeah, I played the game and I still don't know who the hell this guy is, so don't feel too bad if you don't recognize him. Oh, and the strategies to beat all of these baddies is, wait for it, you know, I mean wait for it. When you can jump in and hit him, you run away until you can hit him again. Sega never tried to think outside of the box with these bosses, and the best way to take out almost every single one of them is by punching them. I don't know why, but that seems a little basic for a guy walking around in a weapon, but hey, who am I to judge? A reward that we do get, though, is there's a cutscene between every mission, and they explain why Obadiah is so pissed. Or, okay, well, they didn't do a whole lot better than the movie did, but who can resist those long spouts of silent reflection? Oh, in all of my quiet reflections, I almost forgot to bring up the fact that Tony straight up murders this chick. And yes, I know he's probably killed a lot over this must destroy all my weapons kick, but he banged this chick at one point, and now we see her dead arm under a slab of cement, and all Tony cares about is that he got rid of the weapons there. Holy crap, Tony, that's cold as hell! Then, of course, we're treated to another cutscene.
Life is a game for you, isn't it, Stark?
Life is a blast. Survival's the game.
Ah, yeah. The game really goes off the rails at this point with the story. I really just don't know why we're still looking at Tony in the cave. And who the hell is Obadiah talking to?
That's what I said.
Not helping the situation even at all. There's now a company called Advanced Idea Mechanics, also known as AIM, that Tony starts going after because, you know, they bought weapons. So let's kill them all! Oh, but, you know, not the Pentagon for some reason. I don't know, they're just making this stuff up now. Oh yeah, and the game itself starts to give up at this point too. I mean, look at this! Even the damn trucks don't want to be in this game anymore. Really, the rest of the game has nothing new to offer. There is this crazy part with some floaty guy that messes with Iron Man, and you have to line the pictures back up, and if you don't, the controls get all whacked out on you. Oh, no, not a good time. Match it up. Oh, damn. Overall, I would have to say that the Iron Man game is a massive letdown. There was no real creativity used for making any part of this game, and when they tried, all they did was make the story of the movie worse and nonsensical. They really didn't try hard at all at making these cutscenes pleasant to look at either. And the list of mission goals are shoot stuff and bad stuff. And yes, while that could be the simplest way to describe any video game, Iron Man doesn't have any variety in gameplay. I just did the exact same thing over and over and over, just in different locations, while never really changing the way I had to do things. I'm giving Iron Man on the PS2 a 3 out of 10, because playing as Iron Man is too easy, even on hard. The lame gameplay never changes, and the cutscenes, even for the time, are an ugly mess. Assets from the game pop in and out in the later game, and the story was just freaking stupid. And the controls are not the best either. Yeah. The reason it even scored that high is because for the first couple of missions, it is really a blast to actually take control of Iron Man and just beat the ever-living crap out of everything and anything that comes into your way with really no effort whatsoever. But after a couple missions, really, the novelty wears off, and in conclusion, Iron Man the movie is a must-buy, or at least see. I mean, come on. You have to watch this at least once. And the video game? No. No, you don't have to concern yourself with that crap. Unless you're like the biggest Iron Man fan in the world, and you just need a little bit more Iron Man to satisfy that scratch. But in which case, cool beans, man. You do you. Thanks for coming by and watching another Sad Game Reviews video. I really enjoyed making this one. Let me know what you guys thought about it. Was it too long? Was it too short? Was there enough information? Was there too much information? I don't know. Still trying to figure this all out, so the more info you give me, the better I'll get. And if you liked what I did, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you want to see more of this crazy kind of crap, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And trust me, there's always going to be something else coming. Thanks, and I'll see you later.